Are you on? Is it on now?
Power in here. It starts at 25. So now it's live. See, sound is going to come through on the recording, but is it sending to the thing? I don't know. I don't know. It's too late. That's fine. But you probably get sound out of my room.
On mute. Perfect. And you'll do the
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sydenham Park, and I'm going to pass over very quickly to Donnie Bell, who's our guest speaker today, and I, Neil Oliver, will be helping him along, and we've got a couple of, maybe 3 different people coming at half time to give a talk as well. Thanks to Ryan, our producer, Asher out there, and all the others putting on this production. Donnie Bell, how are you?
Kia ora katoa, bulavanaka, talofalava, maluelele, and welcome here to Sydenham Park, which will be an amazing occasion, of course. It is the Pacific Transport Metro Premier Preliminary Finals at Sydenham Park. It is an absolute Bobby Dazzler out there. The weather is playing its part, the skies are blue, and we are ready to go. Of course, Jack McLeod, the experienced 10, bringing on the Super Sids today. Of course, Sydenham, a proud club and a strong club that's had a fantastic season so far, as we see the Sydenham side, of course, onto the ground, and both sides, plenty of running rugby. We will see Marist Albion entering the fray, of course, from the opposite end, of course. I was going to call it the Cathedral Street end, a little bit like the cricket. So they're down there actually on the Port Hills side of the ground, coming out, and they will be led by Joe Taylor, the captain of Marist Albion, who of course have won a few finals. And Marist Albion, they've been quite some team. They've won 2 grand finals out of the last 4. They've been in the last 4 grand finals, a very dominant side. And it is, of course, the Marist Albion side running out onto the ground. Some special games, some blazer games here for Marist Albion. And it is Bobby Leitu that leads them out. Of course, his brother Moa Leitu was outstanding for the New Zealand under-20s, beating the world champions France yesterday, and was one of the games of the ages there in Stellenbosch in Cape Town, South Africa. But we come back to Sydenham Park now. Less worry about South Africa, more worry about club footy here. Of course, preliminary final, Marist Albion onto the ground, tons of experience, and of course Sydenham, the premiers back in 2022 when they beat Marist Albion in a final. So Sydenham had the first laugh there, winning the final, but of course Marist Albion winning the recent round robin match here at Sydenham Park just a few weeks ago. And Neil, great to have you on, my co-comments man, of course, introducing me before. Neil Oliver. Neil, Sydenham will have some confidence here. I'm sure they'll back themselves.
Well, I certainly hope so, Donny. I think they're a very good team this year. You and I were talking about it. Come back well this year, haven't they? And of course, this is the replica of the final from 2 years ago, which you took, Donny. And Donny needs to tell some truth here that he's actually been the manager for the last 3 years of the Marist Senior Reserves, Donny. So we're very fair here on Sydenham Rugby. Well, not usually, but maybe today.
Yes, very much so. And yeah, absolutely, I've been helping Corey Jones out there with managing the first time. And although I've jumped back in the hot seat a couple of times this year, but first time in 4 years, I haven't been involved on the management staff. But great to be here, and very proud club that I do have, of course, a lot of love for, as we see Sydenham kicks things off, and Marist Albion now on the 22-metre line, and they look to move it via Matahu. Plenty of experience, and he goes out to Rawlings. Rawlings goes to Colladale. Colladale, here he goes. Look at him, he's lightning. And he gives the inside ball, and Marist Albion have turned up. Now the grubber, this is an unbelievable start. And Dan Flash Franson is able to get back for Sydenham. Dangerous sides already. Dangerous signs indeed. Marist Albion taking things up and going well, and Sydenham calmed things down. Flash Franson showing plenty of pace. Neil, I'll go to you.
Yes, I'm always a big fan of Dan, and I always get in the bit about Mid-Canterbury when he's on. But just see how quick he was there. The Marist guy couldn't get near him so just as well, because they were in a lot of trouble there.
Yeah, they were looking red hot on attack. Franson doing well to cover, but some brilliant signs already. Colladale, if you don't know who he is before the game, I'll tell you what, you're going to know his name afterwards, because Tino is an absolutely brilliant rugby player. He's come out of St Thomas's College and playing for Marist Albion and straight into senior level and doing it with ease. So here we now have Marist Albion with the ball, looking to range it wide, and big tackle made, but he just falls off slightly, and it's big Gus Farnan for Marist Albion taking it past the halfway line. Now they move it back, not the best pass in the world, but they've come back and gathered it. It is Shun Miyake. Plenty of experience, of course, and there it is. Whanganuku with the ball, and he looks brilliant. He's beats 1, he beats 2, and he's beaten 3. Stepped out of 3 tackles here. What a run to start things off from Maka Whanganuku. And now the kick in behind. Franson's got an opportunity here. Wow, what a start. Marist Albion, much to their relief. Looks like a tackle without the ball there, Neil, and Marist Albion will have the penalty. We've seen a frantic start from both teams, showing how good their attacking wings are.
Indeed, and it was for a moment there we didn't miss Lester, did we? Seeing his brother go down the sideline there.
Yeah, very reminiscent of. Very reminiscent indeed. Just as I say that, I see I've left my bottle of water in the other room, which is not the best start in the world. But hey, it's not going to matter. We're going to keep commentating and keep talking. As you see now, Marist Albion with the line out. And very kindly, producer Ron, who does a fantastic job here, has got me the water. He's been brilliant. And yeah, just a joy to be here with you guys as Marist Albion boot the ball. Elliot Smith playing it inside centre. Kicks it down, and it is Sydenham with it. It's McLeod. McLeod with a big old up and under. A little bit too much gas on that. And it is taken by Marist Albion. Miyake with the ball. What an experienced player. That's a lovely run from him up to the halfway line. Now Marist Albion moving it past halfway. Shearer. On they go to Galland. Galland, big man, tall man, strong man. Dangerous to have. And not quite going to hand, but it does eventually And Marist Albion will have the penalty here.
Offside.
They look good with the ball in hand, Neil. Penalty for offside.
Well, just thinking how fast this game has been for the start,
Frantic
Donny.
stuff, isn't it?
And we were talking before the game, weren't we? Saying, first of all, how competitive the competition is, but the standard of play has been exceptional this year. And we're just seeing it straight away here. Last week's game on the park was wonderful against Lincoln with their 2 All Blacks from the front row. And here we are again.
Exactly right. Yeah, great to see George Bell and Fletcher Newell out there when Sydenham last played at home. And, of course, a dramatic draw. I believe it was McDonald who scored just before full time, and the conversion was made, and Sydenham clawing their way back. And it was a 65 points scored in that game. And Marist Albion looking good here, just heading up towards the 22-metre line. Really bright out there. They've got the ball. Jake Keenan, young inside centre. He's got I'll tell you what, they've dropped the ball, Neil. They've got a ton of experience in the side. I'm not saying Sydenham doesn't have a few players from their grand final, but Marist Albion have got a lot of guys who have been there in club finals aplenty. That sure to count for something today.
Yeah, they're going to be hard to beat. Did you see the game earlier in the season, Donny? These two?
I did indeed.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
to me, the
end of it.
The feature of that was the Sydenham scrum very strong at the start. Sydenham all over them in the first while, and then the second half, I think it's as good as I've seen a Marist backline play. I thought they were exceptional in the second half through, Mr. Smith, Elliot Smith, and a couple of quick wingers and fullbacks as well.
Elliot Smith, one of the most outstanding players going around in Christchurch Club Rugby, and has been for several years, so experienced. Won a few finals, captained the side, and he'll be very close to the NPC side. Played for Canterbury B last year. He is certainly not far off the pace as we see Sydenham holding them out for the time being. Marist Albion playing the territory game here. So they're still in a good posse with the line out throw to young Luke Gill. Gill throws it nicely taken, big Zach Healy. And beautiful inside ball. Well, the execution wasn't beautiful. The idea certainly was, but Sydenham have done really well to stifle that, the blue and reds, and they put a kick in behind. I'll tell you what, Dan Frenson, well and truly putting his stamp on this game, using his pace and definitely looking alive and electric out there. Speaking of electric, here he goes, Tino Colombo. And look at the jinking and jiving. He is one dangerous winger. Going to be hard to contain. He's won his side a penalty there. Just a little bit over vigorous, slightly overzealous and high there, Neil. But yeah, some good signs from both sides. But Marist Albion.
Has he caught that? I think he caught it. He did.
He has indeed. And so Sydenham have the ball. Miyake will be disappointed with that. He's a class 10. Of course, he's played rugby for Tasman Market last year in the NPC. 2 great 10s out there. McLeod as well. Jack McLeod, very experienced, as I see, right on cue.
Beautiful.
He's done well. He's banged one just as I'm singing his praises. He's put one straight in the corner there, Jack McLeod. So just waiting to see, has he overcooked it though? It's just waiting to see. It looked like a nice kick, Neil, but the referee going right back here.
Also Sydenham down. Is that Curtis down? Can't quite see who it is there. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, so they've gone back. Now they're stopping for an injury break, but it looks like they've gone right back. Had McLeod can't have been an overcooked kick. And yeah, we've got a Sydenham player down.
Is that Connor Smith?
Just looking to get a number here.
I think it's Connor.
So the lock, Connor Smith.
Been
down the physio on early.
Played for Kaipui, I think, last year, and he's come back again to Sydenham. And,
yes, I remember Connor playing for Kaipui. We've commentated him once upon a time out there in the North Canterbury competition. So we're just awaiting. So it looks like they've come back for a scrum, Neil.
Yeah, I don't know. Did the touchy tell him there was a knock on? He didn't hear him or something. I'm not sure what's happened there. Now, this tall man from Australia, Mr. Farnan, is it? What do you know
Gus
about him,
Farnham.
Donny?
So Gus has been around inside the senior team now for a couple of years.
Is he? Right.
Brilliant height, physical player, and just a good player to have around the team. He goes and goes. He's got a huge engine. He's not the heaviest man in the world, but he's certainly big enough for senior club rugby. And
Yes.
yeah, no, he is a class player, that's for sure. And a few milestones just to highlight today as well. Jake Keenan and George Meffin. Of course, Meffin, a high school prodigy out of St Bede's a couple of years ago. He's had some terrible injuries. They're receiving their blazers today. Huge scrum from Sydenham. Marist Albion managed to hold on. Miyake still with the ball, showing beautiful signs. And he nudges it in behind, and the pressure coming on now in the corner here from Marist Albion, looking to get the ball back. And they've got it. They have done really well. All from Shun Miyake, the 10. And referee says knock on Marist Albion ball. Great face here. Good pressure from Marist Albion there, Neil.
They've got them right in the corner, haven't they, Donny, where they want. And this little winger is so dangerous. You know, you can see Sydenham having to really scramble and wonder what's going to happen next when he gets the ball.
Very much so. And just would love to highlight Bobby Leitu, who led on the Marist Albion side. It's his 50th game today of Premier Senior Rugby. He's been around for a few years, Bob, and he's a great bookhand. He really is. So he notches up his 50th Premier match. Jake Keenan and Meffin, as I mentioned before, the young centre, and number 8 for their Blazer games, and Blocker. Fantastic man, Stephen. Blocker Richmond manages his 150th game for the Marist Albion Premier side. Obviously, I know I'm giving a lot of oil on Marist Albion, but, you know, having been around the environment, I think it's important to highlight these as we're getting on with the game. Shearer. And Sydenham do enough to stifle that. So they are hanging on here, Neil. We'll go back to Sydenham. Need to see if there's any special Sydenham milestones today as well.
I'm not sure if there is one, but
I haven't heard of any.
I got a surprise. It was hard to read, but I'm pretty sure I saw 97 games against Jack McLeod, and he's been around for a while. He was quite young when he started. And then someone said this year he was the oldest guy on the team. I was quite surprised. But I think he's a player who's come on leaps and bounds the last 2 years. He has really shown his experience and led them around the field.
You can really tell in the last 2 years, I feel like he's talking more. He's always been a good communicator, but I see him doing it more so. And he's really well and truly stood up and said, I am a captain, I am a leader of the side.
And he's running. He's running with the ball.
You see his running game?
Yep.
Yeah. So here we go. Sydenham holding on, so I will give Sydenham some credit for their defence. They haven't leaked any points, and I'm just having a look up here. I've got a score clock. This is outstanding. I'm having a look on the screen.
It's part of the dodgier part of our
credit to the team, though. They've got the scoreboard on here. I'm mightily impressed. I'll probably jinx it and curse it and do all the above now, but lovely to see. I'm literally sitting here because that scorecard way over at the Port Hills end of the ground is incredibly hard to hear, but Neil, what an absolute picture looking at the Port Hills. The sunshine.
It's about a 1 kilometre of south-west wind at the most, I'd say. It's a great day for rugby, isn't it?
Club footy, how good.
Yeah, tell me a bit about George Meffin. I've seen him quite a few times in rep teams, Bs and under 20s and things in his time. He's obviously a good player.
He's tearing
Is
away.
That him? Right.
He is a monster. And I'll tell you what, Neil Oliver, you could not have timed that better.
Well, I wish I hadn't, but yeah.
Tell me about George Meffin. He'll tell you about scoring tries. He has gone straight underneath the horns. That is some try. And Neil, that's probably the best introduction I could give to you. He is a player with a heck of a lot of promise.
Yep.
He's robust, he's powerful, he's fast. He was fantastic at St Bede's College, first 15 for a number of years. He's been good. He's shown signs. He's been around the senior side for about 3 years now.
Right.
He's had a couple of terrible leg injuries. Yeah, still in his 20s. He'd be probably 22, 23 perhaps.
I've always, stupid as these things happen sometimes, because his name's Meffin and I'm from near Meffin. I always keep an eye out for players like that, just those odd little things.
Nothing wrong with those little quirks, Neil. And yeah, that was a good try. That's a classic number 8 try. And I tell you what, a guy who, like, of Shun Miyake's calibre, doing a great job there is, of course, working with Marist Albion behind the scenes as well, doing a lot for the Marist Albion Rugby Club, Shun Miyake. and he's
Right.
banged that straight through, and the score, and look at that, it's updated perfectly for me. Marist Albion 7, Sydenham 0, and you know what? Sydenham will shake that off. They're a good enough side just to shake that off, let it go, and get on with the game. They have shown they look dangerous with the ball when they've had the ball.
Yep.
So, yeah, plenty of time here for them to click and get things right. They just will want to get some more ball, and they won't want to let this 10 run the game, Miyake. And he's taken in a really nice tackle there. But they get it back, Meffin. Beautiful camera view I'm having a look at here. Via Matahu. And it's ripped away. That is brilliant play from Sydenham. And here he is. I've heard big raps on number 8. Here's one, Torian Barnes. And he tears away, of course, out of St Andrews College a couple of years ago. And what a player. And they nudged him behind. For me personally, that was the wrong option, Neil. Yours, please.
Well, you're hitting me on a sore point there, Donny. I hate nudges ahead. I think
Why
they
are
work
you
about
nudging
1
ahead
one
when
in
you're
10.
10 metres there?
Especially when you were just saying before, we haven't had a lot of the ball, Sydenham. You've got the ball. Let's play with it. But Torian Barnes,
And
yeah,
they look good here.
always good for 2 or 3 metres and the toughest stuff, right amongst them all. So here's a good run.
There we
too.
see McDonald's. Yeah,
Dan.
they do. They do look good when they've got the ball. And Torian Barnes, here's another classic example of a number 8 who is a couple of years outside of school. Hang on, we've got to watch this just as they go to college. Let's talk about number 8s out of school that have had injuries. Here's another one.
Yes.
Torian Barnes will be a very similar age to Meffin. In fact, they may have played each other in St Andrews, St Bede's first 15, give or take 3-4 years ago. He's another guy. He's been in and around the Canterbury NPC side.
Yep.
And the guy's fantastic. He just hasn't been able to stay on the field long enough, but they're really lucky when the fantastic Blair Royal went down to Southland.
Yeah. Don't
They've got a
remind
guy
me,
like
Donny.
Barnes. Yeah, don't remind, of course. Missing Royal. What a player he is. And that's a lovely take from Connor Smith. Of course, Smith pairing up with Robert Brocklehurst. What a player he was in the Linwood side a few years ago.
He had
Now
a great game last week, Donny.
Setting into
Brocklehurst.
Sydenham. Glad to hear that. He is a good young player and nice to have him around. And it will be a scrum. And it will be Marist Albion's loose head and feed. Tell you what, they just need to look to camp themselves down here. Let's talk a little bit about Sydenham here. They're now chasing the game, although it's 7-0. Can't read too much into it, but they are showing signs. They've just got to get their execution right here, Neil.
Yeah, and not, as you say, we can't have the first 5, dictating terms of the whole game. He's using this, they've got a very strong right side attack here, it seems to me, Marist, and they have made ground every time they've used it.
And here we go. Nice scrum
Here he comes
from
again this
Sydenham.
way.
Here we go. Miyake loves getting his hands on the ball, doesn't he, Neil? I'm really interested in your thoughts on Shun Miyake. You wouldn't have seen him play a lot.
Did he by any chance play for University one year? Was that another Japanese first 5?
I'm trying. He was very good rugby player out of Christ College. I know I keep
Right.
referring to schoolboy level.
Right.
I'm trying. He may have possibly had a year there.
Yeah, there was one
That's
year.
correct. Yes, he may have had
he
one
played a
season
great game
there.
against Sydenham, a Japanese
Don't
first
quote
5.
me. Yeah.
It was about that long ago. So.
And here we go. It's a
Anyway,
nice
today.
throw. Tidy work from Mullen. That James Mullen looks like he's got a bit of a future in the game, Neil.
Oh, yes, James
From
is a
what
very
I've
good
seen.
player.
He's
I
perfect
didn't
build
realise
for a
he.
hooker. Well held up here by Marist Albion. Sorry, come back to that, Neil, please.
Apparently he was on standby for the Chiefs in the final. James Mullen.
That's
They
quite
put him
something.
up. Yeah, so they rate him obviously.
I thought they might bring either him in or 38-year-old Hikawaria Mumba Elliott. I know he was looking
really?
to get back into it.
Really?
So Marist Albion here with a penalty and Miyake. I'll tell you what, he looks like a 10 that's got a lot of time. Neil, he doesn't look overawed.
Yep, he does. Speaking of Edgar Elliott, I once met him of all places walking down the street in Wellington, and he was bigger than I thought he'd be, and I was scared. And I'm just walking down it.
He's a big unit, his old Mumba, Hick Elliott. Brilliant rugby player, of course, New Zealand Schools, All Black, Hawke's Bay, Hurricanes, but I won't get away from this club game. And that's really nicely taken there. And here come Marist Albion tearing away. Some nice work. Healy taking that off the line out.
Oh, big tackle came in there.
Camping down here. Come, of course, Marist Albion. And still plugging away on the line here is Marist Albion. Working away in that beautiful view here now. Shearer, Miyake, wonderful camera work in close here. And it is the lock, Zach Healy with the boys. You can see the numbers really nicely here. Lola here, Dylan Lola here. Shearer, Meffin.
Oh,
Meffin, he's over. Over for the try. He has bagged 2 tries within the first 20 minutes. That is some beautiful rugby. It really is some great rugby football. Some nice passage of play, a lot of calmness, some crisp passing, and a nice try to finish that off, Neil.
yes, I wish I'd never mentioned George Miffin's name, Donny.
Yeah.
Well, he's a finisher, isn't he?
I'll
That's
tell
for
you
sure.
what, I can't stop laughing. It's just because Neil's brought up his name. He said, "What's this Meffin?" And he has just looked like he's looked hungrier than a wolf out there today. Meffin
Yes.
As a number 8 to score 2 tries in the first 20 minutes, that's a dream. And I was just complimenting the beautiful camera work as well in close. It's but brilliant to be able to see the names, the nice tight in close camera work, really close to the action, as we could see the Meffin try there. And Miyake, what are your thoughts here, Neil? Think this one?
I think you'll have that one. Oh, yes. Killed around nicely.
And it kills round nicely. And that is I've got to say, that is the perfect start for Marist Albion, to be fair.
Yep. I think the one thing I still have hope for Sydenham is that, like a lot of games, there's been a lot of penalties against them, and you don't hold ball for a long time if you're getting penalised. And I'll give you an example of that. When at half-time in that under-20s game you talk about, France versus New Zealand, the penalty count was 2 against France, 11 against New Zealand.
And the score, ironically, 11-0 down
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And I dislike what I call Chiefs-type play around the ruck, which is doing clean-outs of people who aren't even attached to the ruck. And New Zealand just kept getting pinged for that, and they were too silly, really, to stop doing it.
And here comes Sydenham.
Welsh referee. Oh,
Yeah, and I see he was out there just as Elliot Smith honks that downfield, and it was taken by Sydenham and Franson and been put into touch. So we will have a line out here just on the halfway line. Coming back to that under-20 game, you were just talking about the referee, Neil.
Yeah, he was pinging them for, I think, perfectly legally, but I think New Zealand rugby lets people away with a lot more than Northern teams do, and that's what actually worries me. It'll be interesting to watch that tonight, I think. There's some massive games on tonight. There's 4 tests in a row.
I know, we're not going to get any sleep, and then we've got the Euros in the morning, so we won't be doing much sleeping overnight.
Now, we told you, Donny, no talking about league, and now you're going on about soccer. I don't know.
Oh, no, there you go. But I won't hang on and talking about the Euros for long at all, but just wanted to mention some fantastic games. Of course, Razor's first game in charge, highly exciting, down in the Scottish capital, Dunedin. Just going to be a humdinger down there, very special. Of course, both sides did exceedingly well at the Rugby World Cup, the All Blacks and England. Then we've got the Australian side, of course, coached by Smith, taking on the Welsh. And if you want to hang around till 2 o'clock, why not watch a replay of the Republic of Ireland taking on, of course, the team from the Rainbow Nation, South Africa. So
who are you picking for that one, Donny?
I'll tell you what, I'm picking the All Blacks, I'm picking Australia, and I'm picking South Africa to win. I think the Welsh side isn't up to it, just as we see. Let's get on with it here. Maximilian Hughes, but the referee has pulled it back here, and the ruling is a penalty to Marist Albion for that one. Screwed scrum by the
Sometimes I record penalties, and I wished I had this game because I think that is at least their 5th against Sydenham, and I can't even remember if there's been one for against Marist.
Discipline absolutely killing the Sydenham side here, and I will touch on very shortly. Yaki thanks that right downfield on the 22-metre line. I want to come back to the under-20s because there's one thing I didn't like, even though it did favour New Zealand at points in time. I'm hating the amount of times the TMO's getting involved in the game. It was like the World Cup final, I swear, 8 to 10 times in that under-20s game. The TMO would interject. That's nicely taken by Big Gus Farnham. Here come the Marist Albion side, rumbling forward here at Sydenham Park in the sunshine. Nicely trapped by Luke Gill at the back. And going forward, Sydenham having to defend desperately here. They've got to hold this Marist Albion side out. 14-0, here we go, Shearer. Shearer moving now to Miyake. Miyake with the ball taken in a strong tackle. Sydenham showing some beautiful defence, and it's turned over, and it's the open side flanker, Monton going forward. This is the Sydenham we know, and of course many of you love. Mullen had to make that tackle, and I'll tell you what, have you ever been so relieved to see a penalty? Neil Oliver, Marist Albion 10 metres out from the Sydenham line, hot on attack, 14-0, suddenly looking at it could have changed to 19-0. Real relief, some great defence from the Sydenham side.
Yeah, I think I would have gone home at half time with disgrace on my back if we'd been that low, but Sydenham have still got to fight back here. So
some great defence. They're showing a bit of physicality, Sydenham. Oh, yes, got to credit the Marist Albion, though. They're playing a patient, smart, sensible rugby, and I heard they got a little bit of a rollicking during the week. Won't name names, sources, but certainly would have been disappointed with the way they lost to New Brighton. Not the greatest record against New Brighton in the world, Marist Albion, but yeah, can't have a great record against everyone unless perhaps you're in another code, the Penrith Panthers. But we're not going to talk about rugby league. We're going to talk about Sydenham. Hughes moving it wide. Sydenham now holding possession. McLeod under halfback. That's a nice run, Torian Barnes. Barnes at the back, Hughes. Some nice defence here from Marist Albion, but Sydenham still doing really well with the ball. Hughes, not sure which way he's going to go, and he straightens. Gives it to his front row. Was McRobbie. Harris McRobbie. Now Sydenham, they've got to score here. They had to, and they cannot hold on to the ball, but the referee is gone back. And is he ruling a penalty here? We're just waiting, Neil.
For Sydenham, I think.
Much relief. They'll be happy about that after dropping the ball, Neil.
I was trying to see a signal, but I missed it. Well, I presume offside.
Robbie just getting up slightly gingerly. The medic comes on. And
I don't want to say anything about his health because he's been one of the players I don't think he's missed a minute the whole season, which is pretty good for a front row. And Sydenham themselves, I could name 3 players that have gone from the front row this season thus far. But Harris McRobbie has been a big cornerstone of the pack. That James Mullen down, I think. Yep. Sydenham gathering in a tight circle and having a talk.
You did right, Neil. It's not McRobbie, it's the hooker Mullen.
Yeah, last week in this position, Donny, I was liking the look of the back setup, and I forget who was here.
It's not a good sign, Neil. He's had to go off.
He is.
Sorry to interject there.
On his head, yeah.
He's just come off, just to let you know, Keanu Van Staden has come on. Carry on, Neil. You were just talking about last week.
I was looking at the backline setup. I thought there was going to be a great move here, and then they, whoever was commentating with me said, no, the forwards were taken. He was dead right, and they actually scored from a really good charge at the line from the forwards. So we'll see whether they stick to the same move or whether Marist have been on the video and looking at our replays and know what they're going to do.
Tell you what, they need points here.
Well, he's thinking about it.
They need points. And not necessarily taking the 3, but you want to come away with something here, don't you, Neil?
Scrum, is it? They're taking the scrum?
Yeah, you got to back your scrum. Scrums look good so far in the early stages of the game. I know Marist Albion struggled slightly against New Brighton last weekend. I'm hearing that through, of course, third person.
And the first round of the season, of course, they pulled the old golden oldies move on Sydenham and didn't have scrums in the second half, and that made quite a difference.
That sounds nice as a forward, doesn't it?
Well,
unless you're dominating the scrums, of course. Probably not as nice, but certainly not the golden oldies here. What can Sydenham do from the scrum backs?
They come off the back.
Maximilian Hughes.
No, they're going with.
Do they use Barnes? No, they don't. They use Hughes. Hughes!
Oh, see.
Heading towards the try line. Inches away now, Sydenham. Do they go lower than a snake's belly here? What are we going to get? Slow ball coming out. And just waiting. Has the referee gone to his pocket here?
Ethan McDonald not happy about something there.
Just waiting to see if the referee's gone to his pocket. And he has. Meffin. Well, what a start. 2 tries and a yellow card in the first half. He has had it all. Is there anything else he hasn't had? George Meffin, I think you'll let him away with it, wouldn't you, after 2 tries?
Yeah, just.
What have you done to the man?
He's been prominent.
But cynical there, so surely Sydenham will back their scrum here, 8 men on 7.
I think so.
Great to be up here in the Sydenham Pavilion today. Oh, this is a great move from Marist. The Dills, what a man he is. Dills Lola here has jumped on the blindside flanker, and do you know what? He has played blindside flanker a couple of times.
This year, hasn't he?
This year he's done
I saw his name on a program. I thought, have they got that right?
He can do it. That is clever. They
Not many
leave it
do
back
that.
off there, but that is smart to put a winger who can play in the loose forwards on, but it's not going to matter. Here comes Sydenham. What have they got for us?
Oh, yes. Curtis.
Crap. McDonald gets it. The outside centre, Curtis McDonald. And here come the Super Sids. Suddenly the game 14-5, Neil, well worked.
Well, again, my theory about penalties, they're all in a row to Marist. They go ahead by 2 tries. We start getting a few on our side, and suddenly we're scoring. Really, coaches have got to be so careful about penalties, don't they, Donny?
They do.
Minimise them.
They do. And do you know what? That was awesome work from Sydenham. They stayed calm.
Yep.
They went scrum. They went scrum again. They had to get points. They had to.
And I like they used variation, like the first one they used Maxi. He had a bit of a go. Didn't quite work. Doesn't matter. Still on. They didn't. Actually, the first time they played Marist, I thought they sacrificed 2 by going right to the line and then getting held up. And that held up is no advantage to you anymore, is it? It's quite a disadvantage. Indeed. You get held up on the line. And they did that twice, then did it up back at halfway. This time, I think they stopped before the line, which is a much smarter move. I don't know if coaches coach that, but I would hope they do.
And having the tenacity just to go again and get the chocolates. So the scores here, having a look at the scoreboard here, it is Sydenham 14. I beg your pardon, Sydenham would love to be on 14, wouldn't they?
Nice try.
They'd do some naughty things to be on 14, but it is Sydenham who are leading this one. I beg your pardon, maybe third time lucky I'll get it right. Blowing the cobwebs off here. Marist Albion 14, Sydenham 7, and I do apologise, viewers, as we see Marist Albion doing what they've done all day, looking incredibly dangerous, flying upfield and playing some beautiful footy, going from side to side, but at the same time going forward. Here we go, the loose head prop, Galland. Marist Albion with the ball. Lovely retention so far. Joe Taylor, big, powerful forward. He's definitely got a future in the game. It is a nice tackle from Van Staden. Letu in his 50th. Rumbling it forward for Marist Albion. Some nice, confident rugby here from the green, white and blacks. Off Marist Albion. Via Matahu. Shearer. Miyake. Miyake steps inside. He's taken on the tackle here. Marist Albion looking to bring it back from the middle. Shearer with the ball now. Moving it wide to Jake Keenan. Keenan taking on a nice tackle. Some good defence here from the Sydenham side, but Marist Albion still with the ball on the 22-metre line, heading forward here at Sydenham Park. Leading this one, 14 points to 7 over Sydenham. Galland. Sydenham, of course, scoring before, and that's brilliant work. Brilliant work there from the Jackal. Neil, they had to make that tackle. They had to force a penalty. Marist Albion were putting some nice phases together. Crucial period now where Sydenham have held out potentially 2 tries from Marist Albion. Still find themselves in the game 14-7.
It was good tackling, and the last one was Derek Stowers, who's not a big guy. Nice tackle, brought him down, and then, as you said, the Jackal got in there. He's
got a big heart, Derek Stowers, and he has been in the gun. They won't like this. They will not like Marist Albion playing like this. And look at him go, Colombo. He is an excitement machine. Beats a couple of would-be's. Shearer. Keenan. I tell you what, Franson into everything. I'm loving his energy today, Neil. Really enjoying that. He's helped affect that knock on.
That's right.
I'm enjoying a little bit of energy from him at the back. His team needs him today.
Indeed, indeed.
So I tell you what, plenty of drama and excitement in this one. George Meffin been outstanding for his side, injury-free, ranging, scoring some nice tries, and then a beautiful put-together try by the McDonald brothers. It was this time the outside back, Curtis. And I understand one of the McDonalds is a lawyer.
I think it's Ethan, number 6.
I know one of them's in Australia, one of them's a lawyer. So really interesting. Of course, a majority of these club players, I would have thought all of them will have daytime jobs.
Well, that's the difficulty.
Because they pay the bills, does it?
It's difficult, isn't it, playing at this level where there are so many injuries these days with the collisions that go on. The brave men.
Here we go now, Sydenham, McLeod. Honks it downfield. Smart move, can't put it out, kicks to hand, not to land on this occasion. And let's see what Marist Albion bring
Down
back.
a run.
And they've got it here, Sydenham, and they're getting on with it. Here he is, the flash.
That
And just waiting to see
never
what
looked
the
never looked
decision
too
is.
good, that one.
Out on the field, just been talking him up too. And
Yeah,
he's
we've got to
put
be
that
careful
one out
what
on
we
the
say, don't we,
field.
Donny?
He'll be disappointed. Yeah, the old commentator's curse comes in a bit. And Luke's a good young player. He's been in and around this Marist Albion environment now for 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And really taken the position. Himself and Trent Lawn holding that hooker role.
Ex-Sydenham player.
Lawn, of course, Sydenham University and Marist Albion. And a really good clubman. And just wanted to say a big shout out, a big kia ora to all our viewers. Of course, here in New Zealand, but all you friends and family members or community club rugby fans around the globe. A big hi from myself, Donny, joined by Neil Oliver today, bringing you this game, and really appreciate just your confidence to trust us bringing you this one, but also just your loyalty and support for jumping on and supporting club rugby as a whole and getting around your beloved sides today. Beloved sides, I should say, Farnham.
He goes again.
God, he can't stay out of it. He's a weapon. Weapon's probably the right word to describe him. Here we go, Smith. Oh, look at the running. Bobby Leahy, the tiny prop. Neil Oliver, you haven't seen a prop move so quickly, have you?
Oh, no, that's a good question. Who was, well, remember McClellan, was it used to play for Canterbury 100 years ago?
That's right, many moons ago.
He was very fast. Tamati Williams in his first game when he pulled his hamstring, he was motoring.
Huge fan of Tamati.
I've seen
Fletcher
Newell can put a sprint on. Have you seen him go?
I saw Fletcher Newell once run 50 metres in a game where he scored a hat-trick against Old Boys in a 2019 club game 4 years ago, and I interviewed him afterwards, and he wasn't an All Black, and he had scored 3 tries playing club rugby against Old Boys. And I said, mate, that was freakish, one of the tries he scored. And then look at him now. He's literally playing for the All Blacks today against England.
Yeah, I remember. Was it this year in the
story.
Crusaders? One game he did a big covering tackle where you'd seen him track like an old-fashioned number 8, across on the 45 and caught a wing. I can't remember what the game was now, but that was when I first saw how quick he was.
Yeah, so just catching a breath there. We've had plenty of excitement. I've actually really enjoyed calling this one so far with Neil. We've actually seen some quality rugby, Neil.
Oh, we have indeed. There's a good sized crowd here again, boys, isn't there?
And I was just going to say, I'm really impressed. Of course, I've got Ryan and Neil beside me here, and we're just admiring how many people are actually down here at the game. How many do you reckon? That'd be in the high hundreds, wouldn't it?
I'm used to counting the sheep
I'd love
in
it for that,
threes, so I'll have a quick
Can
go.
you start counting for me? You can just start hand counting, Neil.
I'll tell you what, I'll do it. 22. It's 3, 6,
How's your
9,
mathematics?
15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30.
Perhaps Asher on the ground can give us a report on numbers.
Well, between the 25 and the line there,
Yeah.
there's 30 just in that little bit there, and that's not going back behind the line. So if you take that by 4 by 8, that's 240, and I think there's would it be 300 here?
I reckon it'll be close to 300-400 people. And still 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Let's get back to it just beyond the 22-metre line. Nicely taken down, Gus Farnan. Here come Marist Albion again. We've seen how deadly they are with a drive. They look so organised, this rugby team. Incredibly well coached, of course, by Premiership winners Ross Kennedy and Ben Blair. Both fantastic players and coaches. The two of them, in their own right, the coaching and playing, have made a significant impact on this club. As we keep going, though, let's talk about the players at hand. Shearer. And he goes, it's the big number 4, Gus Farnham. Shearer, once again. Beautiful interplay. Miyake getting close to the post. Here come Marist Albion. Tearing away, it's Elliot Smith, big, strong, second 5. Getting some metres forward, heading towards the post now. The Marist Albion side, around 10 metres out, and they have a penalty in front. Neil, surely here at 14-7, you look to take the kick.
Oh, I would, I think.
They're saying around a minute and a half to go.
I'd take the certain 3 over
Surely you take the points here, you calculate. And do you know what? That's great reward for Marist Albion for their efforts when they have the ball and they've come down here. I've loved their line-out drives, but I have also loved the fact they make fairly minimal mistakes.
Yep. Well, I suppose good ground conditions, no wind helps.
That'd certainly help. Yeah, there's not a lot of wind around at all, is there? Trying to see those trees are looking pretty bare in the background, but they're not wavering around too much. It's actually great to see a spectacle. I think the last 2 times, and he slots that no issues for a man of Shunmiyaki's experience, and he bangs that straight between the posts here at Sydenham Park, taking the scores here. Marist Albion 17, playing Sydenham 7. And Sydenham looking to get the kick-off going. They'll be looking for some points right before half-time. But last couple of times I've come down to commentate club community rugby down at Sydenham Park, I've had a great time, but it has been, both the times it's been cold and pouring down with rain. Now, I don't know how cold it is down there, because I haven't been down there. We'll have to ask Asher. He's done a brilliant job with the Sydenham Rugby live stream. A lot of credit has to go to Asher and, of course, Neil and Ryan, just for the work they are doing for this club. Being able to bring you this commentary today in a final was quite exciting. Speaking of exciting, right on cue, Franson. Up we go now. Sydenham, of course, looking to come back at what has been a clinical Marist Albion side so far. Sydenham with the ball in hand. And Maximilian Hughes, he's certainly putting a lot of effort. There's no lack of effort from anybody out there.
Bit of a hospital pass there.
Here's a hospital pass and some big defence. Have they got a penalty back here? What do you do here? 17 points to 7.
What is the time? It must be very close
Having
to half
a look
time.
at the time, I wonder if McLeod
we
will want to go within 7 here. Is he looking at the sticks? You'll be thinking about it.
Yeah,
he's going to go to the touch.
It's not the best position to get your penalty,
it's not
is
the
it?
easiest kick. I've got to remember these guys aren't playing for the All Blacks. But
that's a good kick.
But I don't think it was completely out of range. But nevertheless, a really great kick, and it's by no means the easiest kick. It's a long way out, to be fair. I was just thinking tactically whether they go for it or not, but a really good idea.
I think you're right. If you'd been, say, on the 15-metre mark, I think you would have thought about the kick.
Then starting off. That means Mullen's come back on.
I think it might have been blood, but I saw a bit of blood coming when he was walking off there.
He is.
Here we go.
And here we go. Nicely taken from Brocklehurst.
Oh, what's happening?
What have they got here, Sydenham? They want to come away with points. They want to. And a huge penalty to Marist Albion. That's why, personally, I could be wrong. I was big on trying to take the points because I think Jack McLeod has the ability, but it is so much easier for me to just come in and stamp in and go, right, take the points, go to the break. I just feel like if you go to the break, potentially 17-10, looks better than 17-7, but of course, big risk, big reward. Had they scored, I would have been very humbled there at the same time. But now suddenly Marist Albion with the ball, they'll be wrapped with their defence there, Neil.
Yes, they were very happy, weren't they?
Yeah.
I couldn't quite see
That's experience.
The
That's
shade.
just
It was hard to tell what happened there, but they're going to their tall man here? No, they go front.
They go to the front.
They'll be getting rid of the ball, will they?
Ely got there, and they're running it. The confidence, Joe Taylor. Big physical open side from down south.
Ooh.
Miyake. They'll be dangerous here. You do not want to let these guys run. That would be absolute. I tell you what, that would be a coach killer.
Here we go. Sydenham ball.
And Sydenham with the ball. I was going to say it would have been a coach killer had Sydenham let Marist Albion off the hook. Let them run down the other end. Here they go, Franson. Moving it forward, we've seen a couple of runs from Whanganuku as well. I've liked Maximilian Hughes' play today. Been very involved. And this is just, fantastic first half. Both teams trying. And not afraid to throw the ball around now with McDonald. Hughes coming in.
Oh, no.
And, what's happened? I thought it had gone to hand. I thought Kenneth Singleton held the ball and they've dropped it. Now Marist Albion, are they going to look to run? They will. And they'll back themselves here. They've got a huge overlap. Keenan. Colladale. Is anyone going to get him? You would not believe it. You would not believe it. That is a fantastic try. Marist Albion, that is a coach killer if I've ever seen one. That will kill Sydenham there. They had done all the work. They were camped on Marist Albion's line. Neil, did you see that coming from a mile off? That is a brilliantly worked try. Keenan to Colladale. That's just sheer heads up footy, finding the numbers and finding their excitement machine. Try time, Marist Albion.
Well, it started 100 metres back, didn't it? And as I think I foolishly said that I think Marist will go one pod and kick it out, but they did a double attack across there, went out to the left-hand side, and then through various bits and pieces managed to come back right back this side. And that winger is very elusive, isn't he? He's exceedingly elusive.
I said you know his name by the end of the game, Tino. And do you know what? For that, Marist Albion could have just kicked it out then. They could have been safe and kicked it out and gone, all right, let's play safe. To have the confidence to be able to go, no, we're going to back our team to run it from our own goal, practically your own goal line out, as Miyake banks that. And what a start here. This has been a near perfect first half from Marist Albion, who are leading this one. And we've still got a little more time. We've had a lot of injury time, I've got to remember, in this game. But it's been a near perfect first half from Marist Albion now.
I have an awful feeling they're going to attack from this as well. Are they going to say that's enough?
They just don't want to put it out. They don't want to die with a ball, and you've got to love that's about a rugby side. And
this time
they deserve to be talked up here, the way they've played that first half. Sydenham has shown some brilliant signs and glimpses, but they have all the work to do in this second half, currently trailing, of course, what's been a red-hot Marist Albion side in this one at Sydenham Park. Donnie Bell and Neil Oliver bringing you this one in the Bassick Transport Metro Premier preliminary final at Sydenham Park. It's 26, playing 7, and we'll be back with you very shortly here, of course, on the live streaming.
Yeah, so just looking for a moment, because we were going to have some guest speakers. You can't see your mate down there, can you, Donnie? Here's one coming. Asha's bringing someone with him. So in a minute we'll have some comments. You can, Donnie, if it's your dad. So we're just trying to get some help here. Look, we're still trying to get a couple of people up here, so I've managed to get Ryan, who's our producer, to just say a few words. Ryan, what did you enjoy about that first half?
Oh man, that's not what I expected. But yeah, Marist is just showing who they are throughout this year, and their strength, obviously, through the back. And yeah, I think Sydenham's got a lot of work to do for the next half coming up.
Yeah, it's a big lead, really, isn't it? Any individuals? It's quite hard when you're trying to do this job of producing and watching cameras all over the place to actually get the flow of the game and who's well. By the way, is that Jimmy Mullen going off, holding his head again? I think it is. Them walking through across there.
Yeah.
So that might be the end of Jimmy, I'm afraid. Just having a look around. We've lost our spare commentators. Anyone stand out for you on the Sydenham team? You've seen them for a fair few weeks now.
What'll be the fly half, the playmaker. He's
Jack McLeod?
Yes, he's all over the show, and you can see that he's trying to run the game according to the structure with the coach has given him.
Yeah.
I think it just needs around him some support around him. But yeah, he's standing out for me in the first half.
Yeah, I think Sydenham is going to have to do a general, quite a percentage improvement, aren't they? Marist are finding their way out of trouble relatively easily. Sydenham have had their moments. especially around the time they scored that try, they were looking very good. So the coaches will be talking to them now. They will have thought about it. They'll have a lot more better ideas than I would, and we'll see what happens in the second half. So we're going to take a couple of minutes break, and we're back in the second half. So we're back again. The second half will be starting soon, but I thought we'd just start with a few of the scores that I've got here. University of Canterbury 29 versus High School Old Boys 14. Sydenham, as you know, 7, Marist 24. Lincoln University struggling against Linwood again, second time. Linwood 17, Lincoln University 7. Sumner 10-3 against Burnside. And there should be a couple more scores, which we have down here. Christchurch 7 against New Brighton 12. And the final game, Belfast, winning again this week, 24, leading against Shirley 10. So Donnie will be back in a second, and the game is underway with deep kick by Marist. Donnie.
Here we go. So kia ora kau, talofa lava, bulavanaka, malualele, and welcome back to the second half, of course, of the Bassick Transport Metro Premier Competition. Down here, the preliminary final, of course, Sydenham taking on Marist Albion here at Sydenham Park. Sydenham with the ball now, Maximilian Hughes just honking that downfield, heading towards the halfway line. It is Marist Albion with the ball. It's Meffin. Meffin running straight, running hard. Look at him go, George Meffin getting on with it. This is going to be one of the great tries. He's over. Meffin, would you believe it? From outside halfway, he has scored a hat-trick. He has well and truly put his stamp on this game. That is a huge try from Marist Albion. They kick it down to him, and he absolutely punishes them with that one. Meffin over Marist Albion taking this one out. Sydenham with all the work to do here. 31 suddenly playing 7. What have you done to him, Neil Oliver? You talked to him early, and he has come back on and scored a great try.
If he ever becomes great, he's going to have to thank me, Donnie. If he becomes one of the great number 8s in All Black Rugby or something like that. But, yeah, he stormed down there. I actually missed the start. I was taking a very quick break just to find a grandson.
Oh, don't blame me.
But I saw the last 20 metres.
Well, don't blame me down. I sort of just jumped back on the commentary, and there he goes, hearing down the sideline. I thought he was going to put a grub or a kick through. We've got Miyake looking to bank this from the corner here. And, wow. I'm just sort of looking at Ryan and Neil with a little bit of disbelief here. I know I'm talking him up, but he deserves that. He deserves every minute of praise there. And that is very, very close. He's just shaved that. Trying to see, looked like he just shaved it the left-hand side. Not a bad effort from Shun Miyake, of course, the general of the Marist Albion side. But I'll tell you what, their rollicking worked in their loss to New Brighton. They've come out hard here, McLeod, getting on with it. And I'll tell you what, it's the first mistake he's made. Tino Colladao, unable to hold on to that one and give Sydenham a prime opportunity. They need to really make this work here, Neil. They've got to score points. They've got to score points quick.
They sure do. And this will have to be the first of them, I think.
So camped out here. So what have you thought? What have you made so far of the Sydenham scrum today, Neil?
Well, they haven't been as dominant as last time they played them, and they haven't been as many, perhaps. Let's see how this one goes.
So here we go. Sydenham. Of course, a proud club. They will not be enjoying being down by this, but I've seen some really good sides be down worse. And just having a look now, I'm going to get Neil to give us a quick score update once again from around the grounds. But let's just watch the class of Jack McLeod with the ball in hand. Penalty, and they needed it too, Sydenham. Be interesting. They're getting on with it here. And they go wide, they shift it wide, and now Franson holding on to the ball inches away. Here comes Sydenham. This is beautiful rugby here. Some strong defence from Marist Albion. Sydenham inches away from the try line. And still got the ball in hand, working it now towards the goalposts. Sydenham side, inches away. Critical tackle made there from Zach Healy. They've still got the ball here, Sydenham. And almost over. This defence is phenomenal, and they've stolen it via Matahu. Gets rid of it. They send it to Miyake, and Miyake bangs that downfield. How Sydenham didn't score there, I really do not know. And they've got the ball, so using his outsides, of course. We've got Tapawitha, who's linked well today in the back three with Franson and Whainganuku, but now they drop the ball. I tell you what, they must be frustrated. I'm not even personally, obviously I've got a lot of pride in the Sydenham club. I've got a lot of friends who have come through the club helping out, but they'll be frustrated, Neil. They've had opportunities today so far. I mean, they've still got some great, plenty of time on the clock, but just not quite going to plan for them.
I think you alluded to earlier when you're talking about Marist have hardly made a mistake, have they? And
no.
This is the opposite from Sydenham. And I've whined on about penalties, but I guess my second least favourite thing is seeing people drop the ball and not, presenting passes that are hitting the guy on the chest where he's never going to make a mistake. But it's going to be troublesome again, but we'll see that Sydenham scrum. The last one was a long way away. It was
see
a bit
how
hard
this
to tell
goes.
what went on, but
of course, just to see Shearer about to put the ball in, and it is a free kick to Sydenham. They'll be happy. Just want to mention Bobby Leitu, who has come off, of course, 50 games today for Marist Albion. Good tight head prop has come off the field, and he'll be very proud. Of course, we talked about his brother, Manu Moa, who scored a great try for the under-20s. But in the meantime, Elliot Smith said, follow me, and has galloped upfield the second five. Shearer, lovely little wipers kick in behind, putting Sydenham under some real pressure here. And the ball goes out, and just seeing if he's overcooked that. Looks like the touch he's coming back for a 22-metre dropout. I'm liking Marist Albion's tactics. I'm liking them.
yeah,
No, it's scrum back, is it? You've gone too far. Just waiting to see here. Looks like it's scrum back. I am liking the attack. Didn't quite execute that right, but they're playing at the right end of the ground now.
well, they've had a lot of success. It's a big score at half-time against Sydenham, really, isn't it? You said the coach had a bit of a hurry-up in the training week, and they have taken it to task, and here they are.
Making me look good, Neil, because I came in and I won't tell you exactly what I said to Neil. I don't think that's fair, but I had a real feeling about how this Marist Albion side would turn up today, didn't I, Neil?
You did indeed. And are the All Blacks going to win tonight while you're in that form, Donny?
I reckon All Blacks, Australia, South Africa will win the games. And here we go. This is what we need to see from Sydenham. This is brilliant. Brilliant play here from Sydenham. They've got it in them. We know they're good enough. They've shown some great sides. They've got a penalty behind them. They may as well go for it. And here we go. It's the lock, Rob Brocklehurst. And Just waiting to see, and they can't put it together, but the referee has come back, and they will have a penalty around 30 metres out. And too far behind for mine to be going for the 3 here, Neil. Surely you go to the line out and get on with it, finding themselves 29-7 down.
I thought it was 29-7 too. I'm not
so
sure
it is 29-7, I can confirm.
Yeah.
Just waiting for McLeod to put this out. We're going to go around the grounds here really briefly as well. So I've got University of Canterbury who are leading the high school boys Polar Bears 31-19. Very interesting. Very interesting. In fact, I've picked Old Boys to win that one. 29-7 Marist Albion leading here. Good opportunity there for Van Starten though. 10 metres out for Sydenham. Lincoln University, Linwood 17-0. Sumner beating Burnside 17-10. 19-14 Brighton Christchurch, very tight. And the Vikings currently down to Belfast 24-10. Some very interesting scores there around the grounds. And here comes Sydenham. This is a beautiful drive play. This is what we need to see from them. This is nice. Van Starten looking good. Here he goes. The big fella getting oh so close. They need points here. And referee has come back and I believe it's held up and it'll be a goal line dropout. Miyake, McLeod. Nice run. It's the number 6, of course, McDonald. Now, is he the lawyer playing on the blind side flank for Sydenham? Here we go.
I think he made that run earlier too, didn't he?
Hughes. We've talked about him, but this is nice play from Sydenham. Here they come. Putting together a few phases here. Hughes. And they go to the loose head prop, Kenneth Singleton. Maximilian Hughes. Beautiful, crisp passing. I'm loving that. Barnes. On from Sydenham. They got to hold on to it, and they do not. Shearer's come up with it. And the box kick. That is a monster box kick. That's good play for the Marist Albion halfback. He has just hammered that around 35 metres out and taken the pressure off the side completely there.
And again, a knock-on was it by Sydenham, and that was so close to that Marist guy, grabbing that and going 50 metres unopposed.
I like what Sydenham are doing. They look good. They just got to hold on to the ball. I mean, it doesn't take a mathematician to work it out. It's errors that's letting them down here, Neil.
Indeed.
They are trying. There's certainly no lack of effort out there, but let's get on with it. Talking about the game at hand. Shearer. Shearer puts it in. Miyake. Smith. Over the game line. Miyake again. Nice ball wide. Here we go. Colombo. What do we see from Tino? Here he goes. He is dangerous. He really is. Galloping down the sideline and has somehow won his team the line out here. And we've got a bad injury here. Doesn't look good for the winger, who has stayed down. So he has been one of the star players on the field today that we've seen, and a bit of an injury here. I'll let Neil take you through it. He's just checking a few scores around the ground, of course, and I'll bring you an update as we speak of Belfast absolutely giving Shirley a hiding. Didn't see that coming. Christchurch competing with New Brighton just in behind. Sumner leading Burnside. 19-14 still Brighton over Christchurch. 29-10 Belfast over Shirley. 17-10 over Burnside. Sumner 17-0. Wow. Lincoln Uni and the Linwood Bulls, who of course had a tightly 4-1 last week in the Metro Premier round robin, final round robin game. 29-7. Marist Albion leads Sydenham. 31-21 University of Canterbury over High School Old Boys currently.
So,
just disappointed to see Marist Albion Div 2s have gone down narrowly to the University of Canterbury. But let's get on with it here. Sydenham moving it from their own 22-metre line. I'm liking the confidence to run it, and they're making it count. Whanganuku up towards the halfway line. Sydenham with the ball in hand. Hughes, McLeod. McLeod sees a gap. McLeod goes. Here we go. Looking to light up Sydenham Park. And disappointing. They've lost the ball.
again.
I'll tell you what, much the same. If you're a supporter out there, you'll be frustrated. And I'm sure the players are. They've just got to try and keep their heads up here. There's still plenty of time to go in this one, Neil, but disappointing. They've got to hold on the ball. You're going to beat this Marist Albion side. You need to be holding on to it and scoring tries. Here is it killing them.
I notice replacement wing coming on, Francisco Castex for Sydenham. He's the guy who's been in the senior reserves with Asher this year, or he's been the whole season going there, and he's been promoted up. Apparently off to Spain with his family after the season.
Very exciting opportunity for the guy. I believe he's Argentinian born.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great to
Very
hear
good goal
Asher
kicker.
talking him up. Of course, here on the screen, a great goal kicker, and they might need him today. You never know. They might have a couple of tricky ones out wide, but yeah, I like what the Sydenham team is bringing. I am liking the confidence to play it from the own area, just as we see number 19.
Joshua Jones.
Joshua Jones coming on. Now, tell us a bit about Joshua Jones.
I don't know a lot about him except he is an Australian out of Australia. I saw him on the Asher interview series. Looks a bit like Jack Goodhue from here, doesn't he?
He does.
Blondie. He's a pretty tough flanker, good Aussie flanker, so let's hope he can stir things up a bit here.
As we see Marist Albion about to put in the loose head and feed. Of course, Henry Wilson now on the field. Good young players coming through. He's been able to stay a little bit less injured. Oh, wow, what a scrum from Sydenham. They deserve that. They deserve that. That is a mini win for them. They've been a little bit worried about the Marist Albion scrum from time to time over recent weeks. It's a big scrum and they're getting on with it. They don't have time to muck around. McLeod looking to make things happen early. They go to the flash. Franson in the 22 jumper. Is it your mate Castex? It is your mate Castex. He's over.
Go Argentina.
There we go. Sydenham over. That's brilliant. Do you know what that is? That is really just look up footy there from Jack McLeod, the number 10 of Sydenham. He's just got on with it.
Yep.
And some beautiful passing, shifting that to the right-hand side. It's the word I was looking for is heads up footy. They've got on with it. They haven't mucked around and celebrated the scrum win too much. They've just said, we've got to get on with this here. They've moved it wide. Well-deserved. Nice try, Sydenham. Neil, yours, please.
And as you say, Donnie, the scrum was the start of it. Great scrum. You've been looking to see a bit of that today, I know, because I probably spoke it up a bit before the game. And that time we did see it. I was glad the ref gave them the penalty there. And there's the reward for that effort, though. I don't know how many scrums those guys put down each week at practice, but well deserved. Josh Jones will be thinking this game's easy. So Jack, pretty good goal kicker. This is quite a difficult one, but no wind problems.
He's good player, McLeod. Can kick a goal.
He showed some speed in that run 3 or 4 minutes ago too.
He couldn't speak higher of him in that last play.
There he goes.
Yeah, banks it. No issues there. That's straight between the post for Jack McLeod, and they needed that because they have been outplayed, but at the same time, once again, flashes signs of brilliance, and their season just shows how dangerous they are. The Sydenham team, they've been there before. Scores now, Marist Albion, looking at the score updates, it is taken a little while.
29-14.
I'm looking here. They've got 34-14 on the app. We will just get confirmation of that.
Yeah. That's
20. Tell you what, 29 would certainly help Sydenham a little more, wouldn't it? But I'm just having a look at the app. So we're going to go with that for now. 34 playing 14. I'm just going to do some calculations in my head. That would make sense as we see Miyake getting on with it. Joe Taylor, big rumble forward from him. Unable to hold on to the ball though, and Sydenham come away with it nicely. The open side flanker, Jason Monton. And there, some nice work, real competing around the ruck from Marist Albion though, which you don't mind seeing. Terrible ball there, having to play pick-up, but the Sydenham side have done extremely well to hold on to that. He's looked good since he's come on. Some beautiful glimpses from Van Staden. And now they shift it wide. Donald, outside centre. Of course, one of the two brothers out of Christchurch Boys High. It's Curtis McDonald, who's seen score a try, and of course his brother Ethan McDonald playing on the blindside flank. And a penalty to Sydenham here. Nice opportunity for McLeod to get them upfield and build something off it.
Here we go.
What are they
Let's
going
put
to
it
come
down.
up with here, Neil? Are they going to go for the drive? Or do you think they'll look for the midfield crash here off this line?
How far are they out there, Donny? Are they past the 22?
Just past the 22. Oh, they're right on the 22-metre line. What are you seeing coming from this one, Neil?
Well, I wonder if they will keep it a bit of a drive around the back of the line out. I'm not sure. Although Jack's looking out and talking to a few people out there. Derek Stowers might want to have a run.
They've got to win it first. Are they going to win it?
No.
No, they're not. I said that right on cue, didn't I? Shearer. Big mistake. Gives Marist Albion a shift. Here's Miyake looking like he's got all the time in the world to clear that.
Oh,
Some nice work, and look at that. Smashes it downfield. Here comes Franson. Franson with the up and under. Meffin looks to get back and take it. Can't. Franson, lovely chase. And just waiting to see who first knock on was. I think he's got Meffin. Knocking that on. He does indeed. So it will be the Sydenham loose head and feed. 40-odd metres out. And a scrum to them. So chance to use their back line or to use Barnes off the back. I'm just having a look. Doesn't look like Barnes is on the field now. No, he's come off. So Jones has gone into loose forward and McDonald's gone to number 8. Jones has gone to the blindside flank. McDonald there at number 8. Let's see if they use McDonald here. Been very impressive, as we said, with their scrums.
I think they'll play for the penalty here, Donny. Let's put pressure on Marist.
Stranger things have happened, that's for sure.
Go down with the 22 and have another go at them.
Tell you what, I've got through that H2O.
Yeah.
Absolutely no problems there.
Plenty do a lot of gardening this morning.
Plenty of, yeah, exactly right. Plenty of water needed to be taken on board. Been a lot of excitement to get our heads around. Still just, really impressed with that crowd. I'm picking 400 out here at Sydenham Park. Of course, we've got a few surrounded down in the lovely blue skies looking over at the Port Hills end of the ground and the Port Hills themselves. But let's get back to the rugby at hand. Nice work. McDonald floats it wide. Now they go wide and they look to use their ranging outsides who are dangerous. What a try. Here they come. Here they come. Franson.
I was watching that by eye, Donny, and I missed the pass to Franson. Where did that happen?
You took a sip at your age.
I saw Manganuku do the big run, but did he flick out?
What a run.
Marka
Whainganuku, he's got to be a relation to Leicester, surely, with a surname like that. So that's Leicester's brother out there, Marka Whainganuku, who just tore away down the side there. Thief in the night stuff. Tucked it to Franson. Sydenham over. Neil Oliver. It's okay to get a little bit excited here.
Well, that was a good try. We're a long way from that corner, so it's a little bit hard on a dark TV screen trying to flick between the two and see exactly what happened. But
Ryan
obviously a
looking
good timing
excited
of the
too.
pass there.
Is this the Sydenham comeback they've been looking for? Still a bit of work to do, of course, here. And just to give you a little bit of a score update, it is not the easiest thing in the world. 34 is playing 19 with a kick to come. Just update you on the scoreboard. Just update our scorecard here as soon as we can. So it's 34 playing 19. And the kick is over. That is a great kick from Jack McLeod. How'd you enjoy that one, Neil?
Well, Jack has been a good kicker for years here, and I think when I was coaching juniors, I think Jack used to win the Jolly Kicking Cup. They've got one for all the Sydenham juniors. I think he used to win it when he was coming through. 2
tries in it now. Marist Albion kicking off to Sydenham. Ball back in play here. 21, so 3 converted tries. So McLeod having no issues kicking. Marist Albion, who well and truly dominated the first half, suddenly finding themselves on the back end of 2 unanswered tries to Sydenham. Still 13 points, so a bit of a buffer, but anyone's game midway through the first half here.
Second half?
Beg your pardon, second half. We're going backwards in time.
You can't get that much rugby in there.
Back to the future, is it? Yes, I know. That'd be great if it was the first half, although it'd be a long day for us. Here we go, Miyake. Nicely corrected there by Neil. And it's the fullback. Here he goes, Cameron Rawlings. Nice to see him having a bit of a run. He's a good young player, Rawlings. Out of St Bede's College, I believe, a couple of years ago, Cameron Rawlings.
He had a good game in their first encounter this year, I thought.
Dangerous player, scores tries aplenty. dangerous with open space. Sydenham have done well to turn this ball over. Yeah, we haven't talked about enough. We did in the first half, but this Marist Albion side, they are danger from 1 to 23, really, or 1 to 22, I should say. Of course, the 7 reserves, unlike the luxury of Super and International Rugby, where you have, of course, the 8 reserves. So Sydenham now with the ball in hand, and we'll get the loose head and feed. Liking their ball retention a little more here. They had to. A team like Marist Albion will punish you otherwise, Neil.
Yeah, you got to have that continuity and just having a shot and getting advantage of the scrums. You mentioned Max Hughes. I thought last week I was watching his passing and it was absolutely excellent, but he didn't run much. This week he's done, as you say, a few variations.
I like his pass.
Just makes the defence think about you a bit more, doesn't it?
Variations indeed, and I do like his pass. And I've liked Nick Shearer too. Like the look of his kicking game, and he looks like a strong runner. From what you've seen of Shearer and Hughes, both look like they're very capable running.
I think Shearer's been in a few rep teams, has he not?
Yes, indeed.
When he was coming up through the school system, etc.
Yes, indeed. Of course,
so
Canterbury rep sides, and he's part of the NPC wider squad last year. And I believe he's played New Zealand schools. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
And here we go, Shearer. Just getting on with it here, and just to say Josh Jones is a proud Kiwi, and let's go Sydenham. So we've just had a couple of messages come in. Great to see a few viewers jumping on board, and rightly so, watching this club rugby in the sun, entertaining. Knock on it will be Marist Albion's loose head and feed.
Yeah, well, that's a bit of an insult when I call him Australian and he isn't, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not claiming that you did call him an Australian.
I think I did. I thought he was. I thought maybe he talked about, did he play in Australia? I'm not sure, but I may have it totally wrong. It's been about...
He said a proud Kiwi, but we've got somebody here watching from, looks like Gunnedah, New South Wales.
Well, who's that?
Not the smallest of regions.
Identify yourself, please.
We've got a Josh Jones, saying Josh Jones. Another Josh Jones. Maybe that's the Josh Jones you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the game here. And the scrum seems to be taking an absolute age. Oh, number 19 has come on the field for Marist Albion out of St Bede's College, George Gunn, who's actually a fantastic cricketer and rugby player out of St Bede's College, and a good young player who's come into the side this year. They tell you what, they must be getting their recruitment right, because they're bringing in talent after talent.
He's not a relative of Jason?
I'll tell you what, Jason Gunn's son, Louis Gunn.
He played for Cross College.
He's played for Cross College and played for Sumner Div 1 and Div 2 side at halfback.
Right.
Of course, Jason Gunn and Thingy. Of course, out of here in Christchurch. Let's get on with it and forget Jason Gunn for a minute, though. Miyake's got the ball here. Around 35 metres out, Marist Albion, not the greatest of passes. Doesn't matter. The pickup's absolutely spot on. Some nice work there. Trying to see if that's Keenan who had the ball. Shearer working hard. Needs some help. Collardow using those strong legs. He's still up. Look at him, Collardow.
That is
He's
amazing.
still moving.
He's
Is
tiny.
electric. I'll use the word super electric. Here he goes. Filippo Viamatahu, of course, been part of this Marist Albion side for a number of years now. Miyake moves it out to Jake Keenan. Keenan steps on the inside. Here goes Keenan.
Oh.
Keenan, he's beaten the fullback.
Oh, what a run.
Metres out. He's just beaten 3 would-be's. Marist Albion still with the ball, chinking and jiving. He was there. Jake Keenan, the outside centre. Miyake come for the try. Would have been easier to score it, I think, on that play. Viamatahu swings it wide, and it is the fullback who's got the ball here. He's taken in a nice tackle, Cameron Rawlings. I thought he was about to fall over the line. And what's the ref called here? He's going offside. Penalty for offside. Thank you very much. So we've gone back. I thought Miyake was over, but he may have been further out from the line. Having a look at the camera angle, I was saying, credit to the guy, saying it would have been easier to score, but he might have still been 5 metres out. So I'll buy Sean a beer at some point later in the piece, I'm sure. And I apologise for that. This is great play. We've been talking about how exciting Sydenham have been over the last passage of this second half, or previous passage here. Marist Albion now showing signs of what they can do.
Yes, well, I saw a Hammett in the reserves, and I thought, well, the Marist name like that, he's going to
Nicely
be the starting.
taken, gun back to Methven. Just inches away, we'll come back to that. Here, talking about the reserves, Neil. Just a moment. Heading towards the try line here, don't want to miss this. They're edging closer, nice patience being shown. Here he is, Luke Gill. Luke Gill going lower than a snake's belly and no problems at all. Banks it, and for me, that's ball game. Marist Albion, do you call it?
I think you're right. And
I've called it now, so they.
I was going to say about seeing Hamilton reserves. I thought, well, the guy in front of him must be probably pretty good. And I noticed Keenan, I didn't know him, the centre here today, and he was the guy who made that first break here that gave them the ground. He must have gone through 4 people sidestepping. Do you know much about him?
Don't know his background from school, unlike most of them. I know he has been in and around the senior setup for 3 years.
Right.
Jake Keenan, and he is an incredibly dangerous player. He's had the odd injury, but he's usually out there, and I didn't realise quite how good he is on his feet. In fact, showing before, but if you're able to keep a guy like Angus Hammett, who's so dangerous on the bench, you put it brilliantly, as you alluded to just before, to keep Hammett out, you've got to be pretty good.
Oh.
But I can say 3 years in the senior side, Jake Keenan, Miyaki, no problems. Puts that straight through the middle of the horns, or straight between the horns, I should say. And Marist Albion pulling out now. So we're just getting an update. Scores are 36, playing 21. I will just check. They may not have updated that, so it may have pushed out to 41-21. We will come back. 36 playing 21 currently on the score. Really got to calculate. We're going to have to
be 43-21, I think,
aren't we? Yep.
That's a lot of scores in a game, isn't it, these days? Big score, game. 43. That's usually you're getting totally thrashed, but Marist have just been good and scoring not at will, but at vital times.
Yeah, you've put that perfectly. They have scored at critical times, and I think blowing a bit of wind out of Sydenham's sail early with Methven's 2 tries, finding themselves 14-0 down within the first 20. But here we go. This is, look at that for an individual effort. Is he going to go all the way? That is a great individual try. To see that at club rugby, one of the stars of Canterbury touch rugby, Maximilian Hughes, of course, fantastic halfback out of the Christchurch Boys High School, first 15 4 years ago. That is brilliant work from Maxie Hughes, and that's just a great heads-up individual try, looking at the short side there.
Well, I like to say I predicted Methven, unfortunately, but I also was saying just before that I'd noticed that Maxie was running the ball a bit more, and look at that one. It was a great try, wasn't it?
And it was brilliant heads-up effort. It was purely an individual try. Backed his gas, backed his nous, got it done on the blind side of the field, and we see the veteran, Rowan Grubby O'Gorman, looking very dangerous down here in his beanie, and he's going to come on, which is quite magnificent for the 57-year-old. To be able to come on and play rugby at this age. He won't mind me saying that either. No, I'm just winding you up, Grub. But he's warming up, and would be great to see number 21, Angus Hammett, who has looked both outstanding on attack and defence, of course, out of Cross College a few years ago, come on the field. But let's go back to Jack McLeod. Can he make it 4 from 4? Yes. Well, that is unbelievable. He has kicked 3 from the sideline today, McLeod. Tell you what, I hope his teammates win or lose, giving him a little bit of credit after this game. He's a terrific goalkeeper. Getting my sports wrong. I was watching the Euros this morning. He's not a goalie. Tell you what, Portugal could have done with him today. But no, he's been a brilliant kicker for them and so much enterprising rugby. Unfortunately, I feel like Sydenham are just going to be a try or 2 off here, but anything's possible. I've written them off. Have I written them off at my peril?
I hope so, Donny, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it might be here just a race against the clock here. As we see 41 playing at 28, matter of minutes, of course, remaining to go here in this one. Now, the scoreboard app, I know it's still saying 36 points to 28, so either way, there's still over a try in it, as we see Elliott Smith moving that really nicely in the midfield. Gains about 10 metres there with his run. good play. It's good, straight running, hard running as well. As we see Gunn, just trying to see if the reserve has come on the field. Joe Taylor, great captain, leading his side around. Wilson, hoping to see young Jed Anglin injected into the game. He's done a great job with the Marist Albion Colts. Another one out of St Bede's College. Who
What
is
sort of
on the
position does
point
he play?
today. He's a lock forward.
Right.
Friend of his father's. I'm sure his...
So you've given him a bit of advice if you're hill on the way, Donny?
I think his father's giving him more than enough advice. Don't know if it's good advice either, but big shout out to Will. And Miyake here, this is a great penalty for Marist Albion. It's a coach killer, of course, again.
Yep.
After scoring a try, mounting pressure to go away and give this penalty up, although it's easier said than done not to give away penalties when you find yourself under this sort of attacking threat of the Marist Albion side, and Miyake banks it. Been really impressed with the way they've controlled this game, but also talking about Sydenham, just their attack, how dangerous they are, and they've got number 21 coming on, Hunter Keno, into the game. And yeah, I bet they would have wished they started a bit better here, Neil, because they've looked good. I mean, 4 converted tries.
A surprising move over there is I think they've put Max on the wing. Was he just walking
Well,
off?
he looked pretty bloody good on the wing before when he scored a try, didn't he?
Is he playing on the wing or is he walking off? I'm not sure which he's doing.
So having a look now, it's Marist Albion on the 22-metre line. Yeah, he wouldn't look out of his comfort zone on the wing, would he? Of course, with a sheer pace. That's a huge kick. He's put that... Well, I thought he had gone past halfway. He hasn't. Still a huge kick, though. It's up past the 40-metre line, so it takes a bit of pressure off Marist Albion. I thought the touch judge had actually gone... further there. So scores are 39. The Canterbury Rugby scoreboard has just said 39-28. So there you go, 11 points in this one. And
I
we've
think
got a
they're
super
wrong.
sub.
I think it's 46.
Here he comes, the veteran, Rowan O'Gorman. I guess we'll find out at the end of the game, but either way, they're more than a converted try ahead. Poor Ryan's got his work cut out here. Nobody's 100% on the score. I'd back Neil's math.
Well, I'm not sure either because it's surprising how difficult it is to do here
And
because
the last-
you can't see the touch judges.
Last thing you want us to do is talk about that score the whole time. I tell you what, lucky we're not within a point or two here. Will there be a few interested listeners and viewers a little bit worried? And a shout out to Nicola there, who is on a course, Nicola Jones, Josh's mum.
Where did she say he's from?
And Colombo just for the ball. So just keeping with the play here. Nice tackle made on him. And here he is, O'Gorman. Into it like a seagull on a chip. Marist Albion with the ball here, around 35 metres out. Shearer. And they have the penalty. That's great for Marist Albion. They'll be happy just to waltz on downfield with that.
Yeah, it must be getting
Bit of
near
cramp.
the end, although there's been a few stoppages in a long first half, it seemed. Someone's
Right.
a bit sore.
Now, my understanding is they'll get a nice week off here, Neil.
That's right, I think so. It's quite hard to follow, isn't it? Sometimes you're not sure.
It's NRL-style playoffs,
Yeah.
so they'll get a week off and Sydenham will have to come back to
They
work
get a second chance at least, and that's I guess reward for a
next
pretty
week.
good first season, start of the season.
I'm going to be up front here. With their experience of being in the last 4 finals and with their team staying predominantly injury-free so far, without cursing them, who do you actually see beating this Marist Albion side this year, Neil? In these playoff finals, who do you see
Well,
that's good enough to take this Marist Albion side down?
most years you'd say Lincoln, but I don't think they've quite got the full of the Barrett boys or Jack Goodhue and those sort of players they've had in the past, have they? They don't seem to quite have that.
And they've been thumped
depth.
today by Linwood. Linwood have pulled away big time, winning that 31 or leading 31-17 currently. That's twice. And as you said, they don't have the Barretts. They don't have those Canterbury players playing for them. Lincoln University.
Yeah,
they are still a class side, but without those guys,
And the
course,
two
you're
All
not gonna
Blacks,
be
of course,
strong.
are out.
back to the game here though. Marist Albion putting this just beyond the halfway line. You won't be as strong. My answer is the University of Canterbury.
Ah,
I
yes.
see being the biggest threat because they have guys on the fringe of Canterbury that are actually playing for them, and they've looked good today against High School Old Boys by all accounts. I see them as the only side, unless obviously Sydenham, who are not far off. This is a lovely line-out drive here, back with a play, and Marist Albion looking to get the ball to ground. They do. Shearer, Smith, and they find their man, Angus Hammett.
Oh, here he is.
Gorman, look at him go. Here he goes, Rowan Gorman. And he throws it on the inside. You absolutely love to see it. Trotter, Marist Albion. And you know what? They deserve that. They have been mightily impressive today. We will get you a confirmation on the try score. It may well have been Elliot Smith. He tucked that ball into the left side. You love to see a guy in their 40s be able to do that, Neil.
Well, I was so intent on watching him and his head as they went through there, I didn't actually see either. I was going to say about him, which I'm sure you'll agree, Donnie, is he's been around for so long and he always plays intelligent rugby. He's a really smart player, isn't he, Ryan O'Gorman?
He's good. Well, I always laugh. I was talking to my father. Every time he comes down, O'Gorman does something on the park, the Div ones. Imagine having a guy like that who can
Well,
just come
your
on.
father is actually banned now from Sydenham Park.
He's banned down. He's looking comfy in the pavilion beside us as well. So it's Shearer who has scored on the end of that, and it will be Shun Miyake, who has been simply outstanding today. My man of the match, and he banks it. It's nicely worked. Marist Albion take the lead here. My man of the match, I'm going to talk to Ryan and I'm going to talk to Neil. For Sydenham, my favourite player has probably been Jack McLeod. Either McLeod or some lovely signs from McDonald at centre. Some of the forwards have played really well as well, of course, the scrums. But my player of the day, it's got to be Tino Collardown, doesn't it? Just for a sheer work rate. Or George Meffin.
Well, we'll give them the forward and the back one, will we? They have
Again,
both played well.
Zach Healy's played well, shown a huge ticker at lock.
Meffin with the triple, so he's got to be up there, doesn't he? But that little winger, he's going to cause some damage in the future, isn't he?
Yeah, Addison Thomas is, of course.
He's a tough one. I couldn't
First
believe.
year of Div 1 rugby.
Did you see him in that ruck where he was going forward by himself? I was really surprised by how strong he was.
Hard to comprehend, didn't it? So, Marist Albion leading this, and just to let you know, full time, Linwood 31 over Lincoln University 17, University of Canterbury 41. High School Old Boys coming home with a wet sail, losing that 41-38. Lovely grubber, put in behind, some big pressure coming in. Nicely done by Elliot Smith, putting some pressure on Franson. Not much poor Sydenham can do. And let's not write Sydenham off. They are still a team who know how to win grand finals. We saw it 2 years ago. They do have some of their players back. They are a younger side, but they could still patch up, get things right next week and come back strong. They're by no means out of this competition.
Well, you were talking right when I first saw you today about how the Marist team had got to hurry up from their coach.
I think Mark Croft and Joe Everson will give Sydenham one.
I'm not sure whether it's always the coach, even the players themselves. They don't like losing, and they do. Think about what are we going to do this week, which can be better. And Sydenham will go away and feel the same. I guess they'll play one of those teams. Could be Linwood. They play next week. I'm not sure.
Great to see a few of the Marist Albion Div 2 blinders down here watching. Right down by the goalposts here as we see Marist Albion once again putting some beautiful play together. I think I've got to go George Meffin, the number 8, the player of the day, scoring 3 tries. How do you go past a guy who scores a hat-trick and he's a forward, really? Yeah, nice ball from Miyake. That's beautiful. Clawing forward here, the Marist Albion side. And it's just one-way traffic at the moment. It really is. Penalty out here. What do you think they're going to do?
He looks like he's going to have a kick.
I would.
Is he?
Give your team a rest.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't the kick. Yes, he is going to have a kick.
Kick it going. Why not?
Yep.
Give those bodies a rest and have a break. They've deserved it.
There's my grandson who's supposed to be taking photographs. He's had enough of the day. He's wandering around.
Certainly won't be the only one. Very competitive, exciting game of rugby. And I think it's just come down, myself, I feel like it's just come down to intelligent rugby, and so they're just not making such very little errors.
Yep.
Marist Albion.
That's what I was thinking as you're saying it.
Little
And you
errors.
said it, Donnie. I think that's the thing is if you get a team to do that, you do very well.
Just not making mistakes. And
Good
bang,
options.
Shun Miyake, great option taking. A lot of leadership. They are a very experienced side. Marist Albion, a lot of these guys have come back and they have got it right with recruitment. Great signs for the Sydenham team though as well, with a lot of young guys coming through. This is the youngest Sydenham team I've seen in many years, and for them to have the confidence to score 4 converted tries today is great signs. Just a little bit of work to do ahead of them if they want to take the Golden Goose, of course, the trophy at the end of the year. But this is some nice play heading up to the 22-metre line from the Sydenham side, of course. We've got number 21, Hunter Keno there playing halfback. And Keno moving it wide. McLeod skips it wide to the flash. Here go Franson. Beats one. Nice tackle made on him. And just beyond the 22-metre line here, Sydenham still with the ball in hand. McLeod goes into halfback. And it is number 20 here who is Kohama. Harmer now with the ball. They've got it trapped at the back. Keno moves it to the left-hand side of the ground. Heading towards the post here at the Port Hills end of Sydenham Park. Of course, the Bassick Metro preliminary final here. Marist Albion leading this one over the Sydenham side. Sydenham still with the ball though. They could finish off in some real style. Then Starden taken in the tackle. Sydenham still with it. Skips out right. Here's Franson.
He's close.
They really want the Sydenham. They deserve it. And they can't hold on to the ball. So it is, in fact, lost forward.
The game's over.
49, playing 28. And that is it. That's full time here from Sydenham Park. A courageous, entertaining brand of footy we have seen from both sides. But Marist Albion, well and truly deserving this one. A clinical display from them away from home at Sydenham Park. It has been great to be joined by my co-commentator today, Neil Oliver. Neil, great to bring you this one. I'm Donnie Bell, bringing you this preliminary final. Congratulations today to Marist Albion, who move forward in this competition, and wishing Sydenham all the very best with their repeat game next week. 49, playing 28 here. That's it from us. Sayonara, matewa.
Good night.